Ashley the Wayward Stitcher, and welcome to my channel. Welcome to all of my new subscribers that have come over in the last couple of weeks. I know several of you might have come over from Mary the Daydream Stitcher. Some of you might have come over from other Flosstubers, or maybe you just happened to stumble across my channel. Either way, welcome guys. I'm so glad to have you here with me. It is just crazy. I think I'm almost at 600 subscribers now, which is crazy because I've been floating around the 500 mark for a really long time. So we're getting there. We're definitely getting there. And I have yet to decide about whether or not I'm going to be doing anything special for my 600th subscriber or not. I might, just because of the fact that, like I said, I've been sitting at the 500 mark for a really long time. Hasn't really gone up or down significantly. At least I don't think it has. And I'm just going to move my camera. I don't know what is going on right now. But it's like my lens or something is just moving all on its own. Like I'm not touching my camera, but I can see I can see everything shifting on me. And I'm like, what is going on right now? Is it my camera trying to focus on things and it's just being weird? I don't really know what's going on. It's doing it again. I don't know. Or maybe I'm just seeing things. Nope, it did it again. I think it's because of my focus. I think that's what's happening here. I think it's just my focus is being... Anyway. Welcome to real life in filming a Flosstube video. Oh, the weather's gotten kind of nasty outside and I'm supposed to pick up my boyfriend's daughter from work in about half an hour. Anyway, yeah, welcome to everyone that's come over the last little while. I'm so glad to have you guys here. And yeah, so I think hopefully this comes over well. I filmed one yesterday and then I realized, like, I went off on this huge tangent and forgot to even notice my subscribers. I was like, okay, I have to refilm that because I don't want these people, I don't want you guys thinking that I forgot about you, because I definitely didn't. Not intentionally anyway. So yes, welcome to everyone. And the reason why the reason why things have been a little different for me is because I've been struggling a lot with my mental health. And the last couple videos I did, which were filmed without me in front of the camera, was because I was feeling really, really rough. And I just didn't feel like showing my face. And I honestly just, like, my anxiety acted up, and then, like, I broke out in horrible acne, and I just looked awful. I felt awful. And so that's why I kind of changed the way I was doing my videos for a little while. I didn't feel like getting on the computer and editing anything. I had, like, no desire whatsoever for any of that. I lost interest in a lot of things that I usually have a lot of interest in, not just my stitching. So, yeah, and I've been struggling a little bit with some health stuff too. So, but, you know, that stuff aside, I'm feeling better now, and that's why I'm here. And I thought that I would show you guys what I've been working on lately. But I also think, just in case you haven't seen my last two videos where I wasn't face-to-face chatting with you guys, I did decide to quit WhipGo. Not because it wasn't, like, I wasn't getting stuff done. I definitely was. I just realized that I do not want the added pressure on myself for stitching things. I know the purpose of WhipGo is to, like, have fun and just make progress, and, you know, each person's WhipGo board is, you know, their own and everything else, but I still felt an immense amount of pressure trying to be like, okay, well, these are the numbers that are called, I have to work on this, and then I have to get that goal done, and it just wasn't fun for me anymore. The beginning was fun, where I was like, yes, I can do this, I'm going to challenge myself, and it's going to be great. It just, like, I don't know, after 2 months of doing it, my mental health took a beating over it and was like, nope, this isn't happening anymore. So, and then of course the sudden realization that my boyfriend's birthday is coming up and I haven't really put any work into his eagle. I was like, I gotta get that going, and then just things just derailed from there. So I have quite a few things to show you guys today. I think I have about 6 projects with me, and I'll run them through with you guys really quick, and then I have to go pick my boyfriend's daughter up from work. So the first project that I have to show you guys today is my Silent Flight by Dimensions. This is showing up super bright today. I love it. I don't think my camera is usually this vibrant, but I'm glad that it is today because this is such a beautiful piece. And I can't wait to get back to stitching on it, actually. I might stitch on it again tomorrow for a little while. I also have a dog sitting job that I'm supposed to do this week, so I might take it with me. And this is where we are. So no real progress since you guys probably saw it on my last video that I did an update of it. But I figured I'd show it again anyways, just because. So he's coming along really nice. He, she, it is coming along very nicely. And, yeah. So, he doesn't have an eye yet, but he will eventually. And what I love about this project is that it's, like I have mentioned before, it's like pretty much, aside from the eagle, the rest of it is complete half stitch. So, I think that's going to make it very easy for me to get it finished. I hope so anyways. Because who doesn't love some half stitch? And also, you know what's funny? I was learning, when I first learned to cross stitch, when you did half stitch, it was meant that you would do your half crosses the same way. And then when you came back, like, okay, say you went from bottom left to top right, right, with your half stitches. And then when you went to the next row underneath, you would have to go from top right to bottom left. So you would have to put your stitches the opposite way so that you could still get that that perfect back, almost, that look. But what I found with that is that actually when I stitch like that, it makes my stitches look really awful. The half stitches look awful. So if I bring this back in, yeah, so my stitches, my half stitches there in the sky look pretty good, right? But in the back, I'll just show this real quick. See in the back here, the, come on, focus. There we go. So in the back, you get this where some of it is nice and uniform, and the other stitches kind of get lumpy and stuff. Isn't that continental half stitch, like continental half stitch that people do? So there's no real wrong way in doing your half stitching, right? So you're either doing your half stitching or you're doing your continental half stitching, which I believe that's what that is. If it's not, feel free to correct me because I really have no idea. I worry more about what my front looks like than my back. So this looks really nice and neat to me, even though the back looks really strange. But the front looks good to me, and that's really all that matters. So I think I'm doing the continental half stitch here, but my terminology is not that great, and I don't really research anything when I stitch, so yeah. I just fly by the seat of my pants when it comes to cross-stitching half the time. So my next project that I'm going to show you guys is going to be my Northern Expressions Needleworks Peacock Band Sampler, and this is the cross-stitch only version, and this is what she'll look like when it's done. And I learned very quickly that this has a ton of beads in it. Like, I mean, a ton, which is great. I love beading. There's nothing wrong with beading, but it's going to be expensive. So I pulled this out on a whim the other day, last week, and I put some work into it. So last time you guys saw it, this green was already stitched and some of this was already stitched, but then I just carried this over to the end of the project and then worked on this band here a little bit. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, there might be like one or two more of these that have to go here to get to the edge. But this was as much as would fit in my Q-snap at the time, so that's just all I stitched. But I'm really loving this a lot. I can't wait to get into more of the blue and purple colors. And this is just being stitched on 18 count white Aida with the called for DMC threads. I think there was an option. Let me just check the pattern here real quick. What were the other floss? Fiberlicious and Dinky Dyes were the two other threads you could use. And I don't really have Dinky Dyes threads. I mean, I have like 3 or 4 different Dinky Dyes, but they're all blues. And as you all know, Dinky Dyes and like Fiberlicious and Color and Cotton and all of those, they're hand-dyed or over-dyed threads, and they can be a little pricey. So For someone like me who is just happy stitching things in DMC, I'm going to stitch things in DMC if I can, just because it really, I know, you know, stitching things with the variegated threads is nice, but I don't need it, so that's that project. I don't know why I'm putting my tablet away. I have like 2 other projects to show you guys, so I need my tablet for. And then the next, I may as well just keep this open. The next project I'm going to show you guys is my Quick Stitch Realm of Enchantment by Anne Stokes. And that's my Heaven and Earth Designs piece. This lovely beauty here. Try to get as much glare off of it as possible with my dining room light. It's kind of hard. And I didn't put that much work into this, honestly. I only put maybe 100 or so stitches in since the last you guys saw it. So there's, you know, it's not going to be that noticeable, but that's where we're at. And of course I've got a bunch stitched up here too, but I just worked a little bit in her headband here and in above the dragon's wing there, just to kind of fill things in. So not too much there, but at least it's something. So like I said, about 100 stitches or so were made on that. And then the next project that I have to show you guys, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get a picture of it for you, because the last time I tried, oh no, here it goes. Perfect. I love my tablet. Guys, having a tablet as a stitcher is like the best thing. Oops. The best thing ever. The next project that I'm going to show you guys is my Epic Pokemon. And this is what it will look like when it's finished. It's a very hectic piece, right? Like there's just so much going on. But it's amazing and I still love it. And so I've taken part of the Q-snap off so that you guys can see a little better. But, so this is where I'm at currently. I'm just going to block myself off for a second here. So what I accomplished, well, since the last time you guys saw it, is I put this color in here in Lapras and put the same color in Snorlax there. I put a little bit of the light purple in Mewtwo and have started doing some of the black outlining. So what I'm doing with this piece is actually taking the lowest DMC number, so which would be like 150 or 155 or something like that, and stitching it all throughout wherever my Q-snap fits, and then moving on up the DMC line in number. So far I've done all the numbers in this project that go up to 310, so that's why I'm working the 310 in right now. And when I'm done 310, I'm sure I'll move on to 311 and so on and so forth. So that's how I'm planning on tackling this for now, and it's actually kind of fun that way. I think it's important as a stitcher to change the way you do things every once in a while, because it keeps things fresh and exciting and fun. And yeah, I'm happy to do things this way. Like I've tried pretty much every technique under the sun on this project. So a little bit of extreme cross country is what's happening right now. So, but I'm loving it so much, and I think since you guys have seen it, this has seen about 1,000 stitches. So a lot of that was in this bulk stitching here, which is about 600 stitches all on its own. So, yep, still love Pokemon, and I probably will until the day I die. All right, and then the last project that I have, well, no, it's not the last one. What am I talking about? The second to last project that I have to show you guys is my lovely Fairy of the Rainbow by Joan Elliott. She's a stunner, honestly. But what really surprises me sometimes is that these cover photos, they're not really, like, they're true to color, yes, to a degree, but they're always a lot brighter than the project is actually stitched up. So you have to keep in mind that this looks very, like, pastel-y and stuff. The colors aren't really that pastel. It's just the way the cover photo looks. But she's still just, oh, I can't even with her. And you guys saw her in my last little update video where I was just, like, filming, you know, when I was still not feeling like putting myself on camera. And the Epic Pokemon, again, is just stitched on 18 count white Ada. And so for this lovely lady, do I have this the right way? Yep. Had to make sure. That's where I got to with her. So I love the colors, like holy smokes. So pretty. And the fabric's actually showing true to life today. It was not yesterday when I tried to film this. So this is being stitched on a 28 count Lugana in clear or crystal skies from Pole Stitches, which is a fabric I picked up at Stitch at Central in London, Ontario, which is my LNS. It's not really super local to me because I have to drive like 2 hours to get there, but it's the only place that I can go now to get any cross-stitching stuff. Like, we have a Michael's about 45 minutes away from where I live, but it seems now, for whatever reason, they've stopped selling Dimensions kits. They've stopped, like, I remember the good old days when Michael's, you walked in there and the cross-stitch section was like 2 whole aisles of like wall-to-wall kits, and I remember going in with my great aunt, like when I was first learning to stitch, so that probably would have been about 12 years ago. It was incredible. Like, you would walk in and there would be so many kits you wouldn't know what to choose from. And I do remember, I beat myself up every time over it now. Back then, I remember finding the pamphlet of Teresa Wensler's Chinese dragon, you know, like the really big one, and he kind of swirls and there's like this beautiful intricate border. If I can find a picture of it, I'll post it here. I'm pretty sure it's Teresa Wensler that does it. They had a pamphlet of that back then, and I never bought it because it's intimidated the crap out of me. And to this day, I kick myself over that because it's such a beautiful piece. I would love to stitch it. Yeah. But back then, like, pamphlets and things like that were so common. Like, I would be able to go anywhere with my great aunt or my grandmother and be able to find cross stitch pretty much anywhere. Like, it's crazy to me how dulled down cross stitching has become, especially after the pandemic, when cross stitch was like one of those things everybody seemed to be picking it up who had never done it before. And yeah, so it just blows my mind that Michael's is not really stocking that anymore. Like, yeah, you can still go in and buy fabric and thread, but like, that's it, really. So I pretty much like buy anything I need online now, unless I'm already in the city for something else. But yeah, it's just crazy to me, because now if I want Dimensions kits, I have to go online to order them, because in this cross stitch store that I go to, while I love to support them, I really do, their kits are just a little pricey. They price their kits a little too high for my liking. So it just comes down to what I can afford, right? So anyway, if money was no object, I wouldn't care. But anyway, so the next and final project that I have to show you guys today is my Gold Collections Petite from Dimensions and my Elegant Geisha. She is absolutely stunning, and I've been working on her since February of 2015. So she's 7 years old now, which is crazy to me. She should not be 7 years old. See, this is what I mean. When I say, I sometimes write on the back when I start something. It's not going to show up now because, yeah, there we go. Yeah, excuse my terrible handwriting. But that's what I do with these cover photos sometimes, is I write my start date on them so that I know, yeah, she's 7 years old. But I've been working on her for the last couple of days, and you're going to have to excuse the hanging thread here because I was literally stitching on her before I come on to chat with you guys. But that's where I am with her. So I put in some strands of yellow along here to get that finished. And there's this dark patch of blue there that I've finished. And then I've literally just been working on the sleeve of her kimono there. Obviously now I'm working in the purples. And then, yeah, I'll try to probably get this part finished and then go back up to work up here so that I can do this. And then the background is all like, not, I don't think the flowers are, I'm not sure, but there's some half stitching in the background here that's really nice and light to do. So I've already done some of it, as you can see here on the bottom and over here and some up here. But yeah, it's DMC Petites are no joke. They are detailed and intricate and take a lot of time. But I really love this one because, of course, as you guys all know, I have this obsession with Asian things and Japanese culture and stuff like that. So you're really, really loving her. Stitching on her again, it's actually been kind of fun, and I've missed stitching in a hoop. I've really missed stitching in a hoop. It's crazy because with a hoop, you can kind of turn your fabric sideways and work. Like with a hoop, you can kind of do this thing. Not that I would really do that, but if I'm working in this area, I tend to kind of, I don't work with my hoop straight, I kind of work with it sideways. I don't know if anyone else does that, but anyways, it's easier for me to stitch and it's easier for me to hold in my hand, and I find that my hand doesn't cramp as much as when I'm trying to hold that huge Q-snap in my hand. Now, I know you guys know that I've got a Lowry stand, but in this small apartment that we have, my Lowry stand does not work for me that well. I really don't have that much space. My stitchy corner in my bedroom is like literally like a 2 foot, maybe 2 foot wide space, and I have to have room for my table, my chair, my lamp, my Lowry stand, and it's just super crampy. And so I've stopped really using my stand unless I'm working on my Heaven and Earth or the Eagles. I have just been like kind of working with my Q-snap in hand since then, and obviously now the hoop for my Dimensions kits. And it's crazy, but like when I think about it, I used to stitch strictly from a spring-loaded metal hoop when I first started to stitch, and it's crazy, but like back then I had no issues whatsoever with ever feeling like nothing was tight enough or whatever. But back then as well, I wasn't as critical in my own stitching as I am today. Like today I'll look at my stitches and go, oh, those don't look like they're laying right, I gotta rip them out and restitch them. No. I have filmed, you guys will probably see this in the near future, maybe in the next couple days, maybe next week sometime I'll post it, but I did film a finish video for you guys while I was at my parents'. All my finishes are there, packed in a box, and I pulled them all out and filmed the video so that you guys can see a bunch of my finishes. A lot of them have already been shown on my channel, but just maybe as a refresher for some of you and for my new subscribers who might not have gone back to the very beginning of my channel to watch what I've stitched. So I just on a whim decided to do that, and it was again one of those things where I could just film it without putting my face on camera. So it was really a lot of fun to do that. So I hope you guys like it when I do decide to upload it. I don't know when exactly that's going to be, but yeah. So my plans for the next little while is to continue working on my Elegant Geisha, probably Pokemon as well, and aside from those two and maybe the Eagle, I don't really know what I'm going to stitch. I'll probably put the Eagle in a hoop and maybe attempt to work on it in my Lowry stand. I don't really know. It's just that the Q-snap has become, I don't know, it's just become too cumbersome for me. It's just, yeah, we all have moods, right? Where one minute you want to work on one thing and one minute you want to work on another, and one time you want to stitch in hand and then you don't want to stitch in hand, you want to stitch with a hoop, and then we're all prone to changing our minds about things, right? So, and what works for you and what doesn't work for you, we all have to find that. We all have to find that, right? What works for us and what doesn't work for us. And I've, over the last several months, learned very quickly that the Lowry stand has become a thing where it's not as comfortable for me, and it limits where I can sit and stitch and be comfortable. So, yeah. Anyways, that's going to be it for me, guys. I hope to see you again soon, sooner rather than later. Like I said, hopefully my mental health continues to stay where it is and I'm feeling better. But until I see you guys again, I hope you guys have a great stitchy time and you can get in as much stitching as you guys want, and that you can do all the things and stitch all the stuff. And I will see you guys again soon. Bye.